Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Alex Jones is back. He tweeted his new YouTube channel, and I recommend all of you go to youtube.com/@AlexJonesLive and subscribe. He's only got 797 subscribers.
You're in the early.
Yeah, look at me.
Now you can start messaging him. Been a subscriber since 907.
I mean, look, this guy's got a small channel, but I think he's pretty good.
He's on the way up.
He's on the way up. Maybe we could bring him on and do a collab, and it'll help boost his subs.
Yes! This is why I'm here! Oh, I'm the 1,000th subscriber. I'll remember this day for a long time.
So now Alex Jones tweeted out his new channel. I'll say this. I think the reason he's not using his older channels is that they, because of the lawsuit against him. So he makes a new channel, which is outside of whatever that suit is, perhaps. I also don't know if YouTube actually unlocked his accounts. I'm wondering if Alex Jones is basically poking the bear. Google announced they will no longer take political censorship. The only reason Alex Jones ever got censored was purely political. It's purely political. Now that he's back, the question is YouTube going to pull him off or not? I will also add, I submitted our Alex Jones, Joe Rogan, Timcast IRL episode for review, and they rejected the appeal. It appears I've submitted it again. I will not stop. And my contact at Google, it's been a couple days, hasn't responded yet. So that, after everything we've seen, I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna keep pressing this, but this looks like a massive victory.
So were his old channels unbanned, or are they still gone?
I don't think so. I can't find them.
Because even if they were, it might be beneficial for him to start a new one. Because like you said, you started a new channel recently and you found a reach again. Algorithmically, it likely still would have been throttled.
I think the big issue is the reason I don't think they unbanned him, and I think that there's InfoWars is part of that lawsuit, all of those companies. So Alex Jones is allowed to have human, personal social media, and that's what he's got right now. He's going to have 1 million subs overnight, I swear.
How did your videos do covering the YouTube censorship? Like on YouTube, how did they do? Moderate?
Middle of the road?
Dude, Jim Jordan's a hero. I know it wasn't just him uncovering this stuff and forcing it, but this decision by YouTube or whoever owns, Google, which is owned by Alphabet, that they're like, yeah, okay, gates are open again.
You should everybody should ask their liberal aunt, be like, so about that free speech discussion, did you see what was going on over there at Google? They won't know anything about it because Jimmy Kimmel didn't talk about it.
That would be a good re-election campaign 2028 for the Republican Party, is really explain to people how it worked from 2020 to 2024.
Even that, think about if Jimmy Kimmel just paid lip service and brought this up, how much goodwill he could have won if he didn't want to apologize, made the most tacit apology to what he did, but also brought up the Google censorship of conservatives. He could have actually made a lot of inroads with people who weren't a fan of what he said, but also are staunchly free speech.
Yeah, he still could,
bro. And Gavin McInnes was brought back to X last week.
I saw that. Yeah.
Elon Musk is never heard of him.
Did he say that?
He's didn't know.
Bro, this is wild. I can't say much right now, and if anybody knows, don't say anything. But Friday's Culture War is going to be the most insane thing we ever do.
Ever?
So good. And it's just getting started.
It's going to be the craziest thing we've ever done. Probably.
Yeah, the future is the potential of crazy for the future is unperceivable. I don't even know if you realize how it gets bigger. Beyond sight. Yeah, it's pretty. It scales exponentially, which is what makes it interesting.
It's crazy that the polarization that we're experiencing, not politically but emotionally. That Alex Jones is back. He's at 3,000 subscribers already. I don't know how long this will last. Maybe they will take a move against him, but if they do, it's going to fly in the face of the statement they gave to the Judiciary Committee and Jim Jordan. Gavin McInnes being unbanned is massive. The uncovering of the censorship is absolutely massive. And while we celebrate this, we also have to contend with the leftist terror attacks against us. Yeah. But it's an equal and opposite reaction. All of these tremendous cultural victories are resulting in a massive backlash in some kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but in terms of the scale of victory we have, they are recoiling in a comparable violent fashion.
Yeah, but that makes it unequal. They're doing kinetic to us doing ideas.
What I mean is the numerical value of quantifying our victories. They are reacting in a negative It's an inverse reaction,
yeah,
right?
Inverse, I agree.
Also, looking forward at what's coming, we got to remember a corporation has control of this show. Has a singular corporation called Alphabet can not all. We're on different networks, but Alphabet's power right now. And
we actually
Sura,
get more views on Rumble.
That's awesome. Harrison Seward, who did a documentary called Game of Money, focusing on the Federal Reserve, said that once the culture war sort of simmers and slows, people will remember that central banking is the issue right now. That our country becoming bankrupt is what will cause people to become radicalized.
And I don't think that it'll cause people to become radicalized. I think that people will be radicalized by societal factors, and then they will become violent. Yeah. Because of a collapse of the monetary system.
I think the wealth gap right now would be a bigger, they're not gonna, I'm guessing the average person who's looking at the average person who's angry at the billionaires, the have-nots who are angry at the haves, they're not really thinking necessarily about central banking, just what the elites have that they don't.
Yeah, the people that act out, they don't often have a deep understanding of Austrian economics. They don't have a deep understanding of why they're actually angry. Because if you have a real good understanding of the system and the way that it works, most of the time people say, "Oh, well, I understand this. I can use this to my advantage." It's the people that don't understand it, that don't have the ability to take advantage of the system that we exist in, that get angry and say, the system's unfair, I'm locked out, so I think it'd be better if we just destroy it and tear it all down.
And those were the Bolsheviks at the end of the Soviet, or at the end of the Russian Empire. Where they were in a terrible economic situation. Weimar Germany, were completely, and they didn't understand. They just followed along with their socialist government. It was the Nazi, so you got the Nazi Party because they didn't understand the economic system.
The Nazis were a reaction to the communists, and the Nazis weren't extremely far away economically from the communists, right? They were kind of fighting over the same
socialists.
ground.
It was still authoritarian. The thing, I'm looking at this, and I read F.A. Hayek and The Road to Serfdom, and I understand a lot about economics and conservative ideology. What's slapping me in the face right now is the difference right now is between the two sides is a spiritual difference, and that's what I saw Charlie Kirk actually emphasize. And turning point literally means, I know I'm changing the subject, but I'm not.
No, it's fine.
Because what I'm saying is that we can get away from ideas and rational and logic, and we can argue all sorts of things. But what I'm actually seeing is a spiritual battle going on in this country, in the world. And repentance means to turn from the direction you're going in. You're going in this direction. Repent means turn around. We, as humanity, have been traveling away from God, and it's time to turn around and come back to God. And that's how simple that is. And what I'm seeing is Gen Z men, especially Gen Z males, actually realizing that they have one choice. We talked about this before the show, but they're either going to be nihilistic, suicidal murderers, murdering suicidal people, or they're going to find something that's actually real, that is, and the generations ahead of Gen Zs have not been providing these kids anything tangible. And Charlie was saying there is a tangible thing. There is something there for you, and it's called loving God. And you start with loving God, and everything else will come back to you. And I'm seeing these kids going, thank you. That's what I need. I don't need to read a bunch of more philosophy books. I need something that's spiritual, that's actually solid. And to me, it's amazing to see that this could happen. It's a revival.
I need to add this in the context of Alex Jones from The Hollywood Reporter. Jessica Chastain says she does not agree with Apple's decision to postpone The Savant. So for those unfamiliar, one of the stupidest things I've ever seen, they did this show. I mean, this just shows you how much they're losing.
It's so sad.
In the same segment where we say Alex Jones is back, we can also mention this show, The Savant, where you want to describe it, Brett? You're the master of this stuff.
Yeah. There's a Karen. It's a female leftist power fantasy where a woman gets on the internet.
Okay, girl boss. Got it.
And she infiltrates far-right extremist chat rooms to expose domestic terrorism. It's based on a 2019 article from Cosmopolitan that's based on a real thing.
I doubt it.
No, it is based on a real thing. What they don't point out is that, like, we talked about it today, is like the first group infiltrated and exposed was actually like a Muslim terrorist organization, but that's not what this will be. This will end up being, you know, right-wing.
Yeah, they're semi-canceling it.
And she listed a bunch of, in her very long, you know, letter, she listed a bunch of different, you know, recent terror attacks. To her credit, she didn't just list stuff that happened to left-wing people, but she did also mention Charlie Kirk and others. But what she doesn't, she's not willing to admit, because she says, we need this event, we need this show right now in this country so we can talk about domestic terrorism. She doesn't point out that the show most likely would not have shown any left-wing domestic terrorism at all.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.